How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge and I am host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Now, if this is the first time you are stumbling across one of my videos or you're fairly new to the channel, make sure you have hit that subscribe button and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. But now we've got that out of the way, let's just dive straight into today's video. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about things that may be slowing down your growth on Instagram. 4 common mistakes that people are making that are actually slowing down their growth. So, without any further ado, let's just dive straight into the first point. Point number 1, you do not have a growth-focused bio. A bio that when people read it is actually going to make them want to hit that follow button. Look, you've done the hard work. You've got someone to visit your page, a new potential follower. All they have to do is click that follow button. But how are you making them want to click that follow button? Because they could just come to your page, have a look at it, and then go away. You want them to read your bio and go, right, I want to continue learning from this person. I want to follow their content, and therefore I am hitting that follow button. Now, your bio can play a huge part in this. They've already seen your content. It's likely that they may have come from a piece of your content they've seen on the Explore page, or you've been associated with someone else and they found you on the Suggested For You tab. Your bio is the first impression of your page. It's the first thing that springs to mind, or it's one of the hot points that they read when they first come onto your page. So if you don't have a compelling bio, you're going to fall at the first hurdle. You need someone to read it and go, right, this is someone that I want to learn from. So your bio needs to say who you are, what you do, why people should trust you, and why people should follow you. If it doesn't, then nobody's going to want to. I've made episodes in the past about how to perfectly structure your bio, so go back and listen to that episode if you want to learn in more detail about how you should be structuring each line of your bio, because essentially in the episode I say you get 4 lines to show what you're made of. And each line should be broken down into a different category, and this allows you to break it up in a way that is most compelling for someone reading it. It starts off by saying what you do. And then you're going to tell people why they should follow you. And then you're going to share your experience, your authority. So you could have had a large following on another platform. You may have X amount of students. You may have made X amount of sales. And then in that final line, you want that call to action to the link in your bio, because that final line in the bio is directly above your website link. So that's a simple breakdown. But if you go and listen to the episode I've made specifically on your bio structure, you will come away with complete understanding of what you should be writing there. But it is one of the key mistakes that people are making. I go onto a lot of people's pages and they've got fantastic content. Their content is incredible. But when you actually look at their bio and the rest of their page structure, it just falls apart. So even though they've got amazing content, it doesn't look as professional as it should because they haven't focused on their bio. So please make sure that you have that growth focused bio. Make sure people know what they are going to learn if they follow your page, what they're going to experience, and what they're going to really take away from following you for a longer period of time. Because that is one of the focal points when people first visit your page. They need to read your bio and then want to click that follow button instantly after they do so. So point number 1, ensure that you have a growth-focused or growth-orientated bio. Mistake number 2 that people tend to make is that they aren't growing an actual community. A follower at the end of the day is someone that is just going to consume your content. Fine. All very well, but you need to be building a solid community of people that are going to share your content with others, people that are going to recommend you to their friends, to their fans, because then that in turn is going to help you grow at a much faster rate, because the extended reach is being brought in by other people. It's not work solely being done by you directly. You've got these forces outside of what you do bringing in added reach. So don't just have people follow you and then treat them as followers. You want to treat these people as fans, as friends, as genuine people. And that's why when I first started my account, I made sure that I messaged every single person that followed me. Now, I get that over time this will become unsustainable because you will have much more important things to focus on, but when you are first starting your page and you may only be getting 10 to 15 followers per day, it is very, very manageable to be able to message every single person that follows you and build a genuine relationship with these people that further down the line could yield a higher return because they will be recommending you to others through the fact that you've actually built that friendship with them. So every single person that follows you, send them a DM. Get to know them on a personal level. Thank them for following you, obviously, but then show genuine interest in them. Make it about them. Don't turn it on you. Make sure you find out about them, who they are, what they do, and how you can serve them better. Because when you do this, that person is now going to be more as if they are part of the community rather than someone that just follows you. Now, this may be the only time you talk to this person, but that doesn't matter. The fact that you've shown this person genuine interest, they're going to feel as if they owe you in return because you've reached out to them. You've actually cared. How many people, when you follow them, actually message you back and ask you who you are, what you do, and how you're actually doing, and how they can help you? Barely any. So if you start doing this as a creator yourself, you're going to stand out. People are going to realize that you really care about what you do and the people that follow you, and therefore the community that you build is going to be far, far better than the people that don't. Now, as I said, this is going to become unsustainable because as you grow, you are going to gain an increasing amount of followers per day. But even if it's just 5 or 10 people per day that you message, you should be doing that. You don't have to send messages to everyone as you go further down the line, but there's no real excuse to message nobody. Make sure you're just messaging a couple of people, checking in with previous followers, asking how they're doing. If you've given them advice in the past, ask them whether they implemented it and how it affected them and whether they improved because of it. Making sure you build this genuine connection with this audience rather than just treating them as a number on your follower account is going to help you build a real community. A real community is going to help you grow exponentially because these people are going to recommend you to so many other people. They're going to share your content, which is going to increase the reach, which is going to help you with the algorithm, which will then help you rank on the explore page and on hashtags. And then it just gets that snowball effect. But without a real community, that is never going to happen. So make sure you are building a real community and not just increasing your follower number. Point number 3, you aren't generating conversations. Now, this closely relates to the point I have just previously mentioned with regards to building a community. But the content you produce, you want to spark conversation. If you don't have people commenting in your posts, if you don't have people reacting, if you don't have people sending you DMs from your content, then it's never going to perform well. If you follow me on Instagram, you will notice that on the final slide of every single post I create, I make sure I ask a question. I'm starting a conversation with my audience. If you don't start a conversation, it's unlikely that people are just simply going to comment. People need to be nudged in the right direction. But when you spark conversation, this helps build community, like we said in the previous point. So if you aren't sparking conversation, you aren't going to get people talking to each other. It doesn't necessarily have to be you simply responding to these people. When you ask questions, people respond. People love to give their opinions. People are very opinionated. But other people may then join in with that conversation, then you link two people together and then you get the discussion flowing. And then other people may be introduced and then you may give your 2 cents. But increasing your engagement by asking questions and starting conversations is going to help your content perform at a higher level because the algorithm does look at the engagement rate to determine whether a piece of content is performing well. When the engagement rate is high, and that is genuine engagement, not engagement group engagement, never do that. Genuine engagement through conversation starting, it's going to look at that and go, right, people are clearly loving this piece of content. It's sparking conversation. It's keeping people on the platform. Let's push it to the explore page. Let's push it to hashtags. So if you're generating conversation, that's going to increase engagement with your content. When you increase the engagement, the algorithm looks at that piece of content and understands it's performing well, so pushes it out to a wider audience of people. When you push your content out to a wider audience of people, your audience is going to grow at a faster rate because you're exposed to more people. And because you have the perfect bio, when these new people that have found your piece of content through hashtags in the explore page visit your page, they're going to want to click that follow button because they know what they're going to receive if they follow you for an extended period of time. You can see how all of these points actually link together. So start conversation, ask people questions, get them to DM you, get them excited about the content you're producing. If you aren't able to generate this conversation, generate this excitement, then your content's going to fall flat and be really boring and underperform. Simple as that. So make sure you're generating real conversations. Now, the final point I want to mention is very cliche, but the mistake is that many people simply aren't consistent or disciplined with their content creation or social media marketing strategy. Growing on social media, growing an audience, growing a community is not easy. You can't expect to join Instagram and within a month have 50,000 followers. It simply doesn't work like that. You may get lucky. It's not impossible, but it's highly, highly unlikely. And this is where people end up quitting. They come in with super high expectations because they've seen this one individual reach 100,000 followers within 6 months and now expect that they're going to do the same. Post content for 2 to 3 months, don't gain any traction and think, right, that's it. Not going to bother anymore. And that's just because they've been comparing themselves to another creator that was just in the right place at the right time and combine that with hard work. It's not going to be the same case for everyone. Everyone's going to have different growth patterns. Some will grow quicker, some will grow slower, some will continue for more. Some of those slower growers may then overtake the faster ones. It's down to your discipline and your consistency. You don't necessarily have to be posting every single day. I always recommend daily posting because the more you post, the more potential reach you're going to have. The more potential reach you have, the more likely you are to gain followers faster, build that community quicker. So I recommend you are at least posting 5 times a week. 5 to 7 times a week is perfect. But consistency is the most important part. There's no point in posting daily content for 4 weeks and then because you couldn't handle it, you then burn out and don't post again. It's better to reduce that to 5 posts a week, something that's far more manageable for you, and be able to do that for 2-3 years and not burn out because you are taking those breaks here and then, than posting that daily content and burning out after 4 weeks because you couldn't handle the daily posting. So work out a content strategy that works for you, something that you can handle, something that isn't too stressful, something that you can stay disciplined with and stay consistent with over that 2 to 3 to 4 year period. Because look, this is a long-term strategy. If you are to post daily content for the next 3 to 4 years, just think how far you're going to get. Look, in the past 8-9 months, I've got to a stage where I've built a community of over 35,000 people. That's just 8-9 months. And I feel as if I've grown at a much quicker rate than many. I've been quite lucky, but I have put a lot of work into it. But now if I carry this on for another 3, 4, 5 years, the potential is phenomenal. It gets really, really exciting having that longer period outlook. So don't just look 30 days in advance and go, right, I want to reach 10k followers in 30 days, because you'll get disheartened when you're 30 days down the line and you're not at that point. So just stay disciplined and stay consistent for that extended period of time, 2, 3, 4 years, and think just how far you will go if you can post 5 to 7 times a week for that period of time. Because that growth will suddenly just pick up exponentially overnight. It may take 7, 8, 9 months of this consistent hard work for you then to even begin to see that snowball effect. But if you don't reach that point, if you don't give yourself the chance to get to that point where the snowball does start rolling, you're never going to get there. It could be tomorrow that you post that piece of content that changes everything. So make sure you don't give up. You stay consistent, you stay disciplined, and continue posting no matter what. But to be able to do that, you need to find a content strategy that works for you. It doesn't have to be daily posting, but I do recommend it. 5 to 7 times a week. If you can stick to something within that realm, you'll do just fine. But that wraps up the 4 mistakes that I see people commonly making that is slowing their growth on Instagram. So just to recap, number 1, you don't have a growth-focused or growth-orientated bio. So when people visit your page, you're not making them want to click that follow button. Number 2, you aren't actually building a community. You're simply just letting that follower count increase, and you aren't actually becoming friends and generating true fans from the people that are following you. Point number 3, you aren't generating any conversations with your content. Nobody's interacting, nobody's interested by the content you produce, and therefore that content will just fall short every single time and underperform. And finally, you aren't being consistent, you aren't disciplined with your content creation strategy, and therefore long term, nothing's going to work out. They are the 4 mistakes. Make sure you are not making them. And that wraps up today's video. If you did enjoy, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turned on post notifications. That way you will never miss a video when I post one. But I did just want to mention that this is a part of my podcast series, Social Media Marketing School, and the audio version of the podcast is the place to be because I release the episodes over there far sooner than I do here on YouTube. So we'll leave some links to that in the description below. So make sure you head down there and subscribe. But if you've got any questions with regards to anything that I've mentioned, please just reach out to me on Instagram at TheMarketingEthan. Send me a DM and I'll make sure I get back to you no matter what. But if you have made it to this point in the video, I just want to finish off by saying thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.